Taurus, listen to me right now. Someone who has been trying to manipulate you for months is finally realizing they have lost, and it is absolutely destroying them inside. 89% of you watching this have been dealing with someone who wanted to keep your mind foggy and confused so you could not see their games clearly. The Nine of Swords just flew out of my deck, and everyone thinks this card is about your anxiety and sleepless nights. But actually, this is showing me their mental torment right now. This person is lying awake at 3 a.m., realizing that all their psychological tricks have failed and you are seeing through everything. But here is the story that is going to give you chills, and I need to tell you this before we dive deeper, because it explains everything about what has been happening to you. Last week, a client came to me describing the exact energy I am seeing for you right now. She had been dealing with someone who was constantly gaslighting her, making her question her own reality, making her feel crazy for trusting her intuition. Then suddenly something shifted. Her mind cleared. The fog lifted. She started seeing the manipulation for what it was, and this person panicked. They realized their control was slipping, and they became desperate, trying every trick in the book to confuse her again, but it was too late. She had awakened to their games. Type awakened in the comments right now if you have recently started seeing someone's behavior in a completely different light. Type clarity if the mental fog has been lifting and you are finally understanding what has really been going on. The Nine of Swords is showing me this person is experiencing pure psychological torture because their power over you is crumbling. They built their entire strategy around keeping you mentally scattered, emotionally reactive, and spiritually disconnected from your own inner knowing. But Taurus, your natural earth energy has been quietly building strength underground, like roots growing deeper and stronger. They thought they had you trapped in their web of confusion, but they underestimated your ability to ground yourself and see through illusions. Everyone thinks manipulation is obvious, but actually, the most dangerous manipulators are the ones who make you think everything is your fault, who make you question your own memories, your own feelings, your own perception of reality. This person has been a master at making you feel like you are the problem. The second card that wants to come through is making my intuition go absolutely wild, and I need you to prepare yourself for this revelation. The Tower just appeared, and this is not about destruction coming to you, but destruction coming for the person who has been trying to control you. The Tower represents the complete collapse of their manipulative system, all the lies they have been telling, all the false realities they have been trying to create, all the psychological games they have been playing. Everything is crashing down, and they know it. Think about this for a moment. This person invested so much time and energy into creating a false version of reality where you doubted yourself, and they held all the power. The Tower is showing me that entire constructed reality is being demolished by your awakening consciousness. They are watching their carefully built house of cards collapse, and there is nothing they can do to stop it. They tried gaslighting you, but you stopped believing their version of events. They tried emotional manipulation, but you stopped taking responsibility for their feelings. They tried to isolate you, but you started trusting your own judgment again. Type collapse if you have watched someone's mask slip recently. Type lies if you have started seeing through stories that used to confuse you. The Tower energy confirms that their deception era is ending whether they want it to or not. But here is what the Tower is really showing me about this situation. This person is not just losing control over you, they are losing control over their own constructed identity. They have been playing a character for so long that they have forgotten who they really are, underneath all the manipulation. My private community members have been sharing similar experiences because this type of energetic shift is happening to so many people right now. The universe is lifting veils and exposing truth, and people who have been living in deception are having complete breakdowns. Now let me tell you what this person is doing right now, because the Tower energy is giving me clear visions of their desperation. They are trying everything to regain their psychological hold over you, love bombing you with sudden attention and affection, playing victim, and trying to make you feel sorry for them, bringing up old memories to trigger your emotions. They might be reaching out through mutual friends or family members trying to get information about your mental state. They want to know if their manipulation is still working. They want to know if you still doubt yourself. They want to know if there is any way back into your psyche. The third card is coming through and the energy is so intense, I literally got goosebumps when it appeared. Death just slid out of my deck, and this represents the complete death of their ability to confuse and control you. Death is showing me that the version of you who used to absorb their poison and question your own reality is gone forever. You cannot go back to being that person even if you wanted to. You cannot unknow what you now know. You cannot unsee what you have seen. But death is also showing me what is dying within them. Their false sense of power, their belief that they can manipulate people indefinitely without consequences, their illusion that they are smarter than everyone else and can get away with psychological abuse forever. This card is so powerful because it represents permanent transformation, not temporary change that can be reversed, but complete metamorphosis that cannot be undone. The part of you that used to be vulnerable to their games has been composted into wisdom and strength. Type death. If you feel like a completely different person than you were 6 months ago, type transformation. If you can see how much stronger and wiser you have become through this experience. This death energy is liberation, not loss. What death is also revealing is that this person is grieving the loss of their control over you. They are going through actual stages of grief. Denial that you have really changed, anger that their tricks are not working anymore, bargaining by trying new manipulation tactics, depression when they realize it is over. They built their whole identity around being able to outsmart and control others. Without that ability, they do not know who they are. They are facing an identity crisis that feels like psychological death because in many ways it is the death of who they thought they were. The fourth card wants to come through, and it is showing me something beautiful about what is rising from this death energy. The Ace of Pentacles just appeared, and this represents the new foundation you are building in your life based on truth and authenticity. The Ace of Pentacles is earth energy just like you, Taurus, and it shows that you are planting seeds of a completely new reality. A reality where you trust your own perceptions, where you honor your own feelings, where you make decisions based on your own inner wisdom rather than someone else's agenda. This is about material and practical manifestation, but not just money and career. This is about manifesting a real life built on solid ground, instead of the shifting sands of someone else's deception. You are creating something tangible and lasting that cannot be undermined by psychological games. The Ace of Pentacles also represents new opportunities that are coming because you are no longer energetically entangled with someone who is draining your life force. When you stop giving your power away to manipulators, you suddenly have so much more energy available for creating what you actually want. Type foundation. If you have been making major changes to create more stability in your life, type seeds. If you feel like you are planting the beginning of something completely new and authentic. This Ace energy is confirmation that you are on the right path. But here is what the Ace of Pentacles is showing me about this person's defeat. They are watching you build something real and solid and thriving, and they know they have no power over it. They cannot manipulate success that comes from your own authentic effort and aligned action. They used to be able to sabotage your confidence and your progress by making you doubt yourself. But now you are creating from a place of inner knowing and self-trust that they cannot touch. Your new foundation is built on rock, not sand, and their psychological storms cannot shake it. The energy is building, and I need to share something that came through so clearly it made me actually gasp out loud. This person has been talking to other people about you, trying to control the narrative, trying to make you look like the unstable one, the dramatic one, the problem. But here is what is happening that they did not expect. People are starting to see through their stories about you. People are starting to notice inconsistencies in their version of events. People are starting to realize that maybe you were the one telling the truth all along. The fifth card that wants to come through is absolutely perfect, and it represents the complete reversal of power that is happening. The King of Cups just appeared, and this shows you stepping into emotional mastery and authentic leadership while they crumble. The King of Cups represents emotional intelligence, emotional stability, emotional sovereignty. This is you taking back your power, not through manipulation or revenge, but through becoming so centered in your own truth that their chaos cannot touch you. This card is showing me that you have learned to master your own emotional responses. You are no longer reactive to their provocations. You no longer take the bait when they try to start drama. You no longer feel responsible for their feelings or their behavior. The King of Cups sits on his throne in the middle of a turbulent sea, but remains completely calm and stable. This is you, Taurus. Grounded in your earth energy, but also emotionally wise and unshakable in your truth. Type King if you have noticed yourself becoming less reactive to this person's drama. Type Master if you feel like you have gained emotional wisdom through this experience. The King of Cups confirms that you have not just survived their manipulation, but evolved beyond it. What is driving this person absolutely insane is that their emotional manipulation tactics no longer work on you. They used to be able to push your buttons and get you upset or angry or defensive. Now you respond with calm clarity that completely neutralizes their attacks. They cannot handle your emotional maturity because it exposes their own emotional immaturity. They cannot handle your stability because it highlights their own chaos. They cannot handle your peace because it reflects their own inner turmoil. The King of Cups is also showing me that you are becoming a source of emotional stability for others who have been affected by this person's manipulation. You are becoming living proof that it is possible to heal from psychological abuse and reclaim your power. The final card that wants to come through is going to blow your mind because it shows the ultimate outcome of this entire situation. The World just appeared, and this represents your complete victory and their total defeat. The World is the final card of the major arcana, and it represents completion, fulfillment, achievement, and mastery. This is showing me that you have not just escaped their manipulation, but you have learned everything this experience was meant to teach you about your own power. The World shows that you have integrated all the lessons from this challenging relationship. You now know how to spot manipulation from the first red flag. You know how to trust your intuition, even when others try to convince you it is wrong. You know how to maintain your boundaries even under pressure. But the World is also showing me something about this person's ultimate defeat. They are going to have to face the consequences of their actions in ways they never expected. Not because you are seeking revenge, but because the universe has its own way of balancing energy. Type World if you feel like you have gained wisdom that will protect you for the rest of your life. Type Victory if you can feel that this chapter is finally coming to a close. The World energy is celebrating your graduation from this difficult but transformative experience. What the World is really showing me is that this person's defeat is not temporary. They cannot come back from this because you have fundamentally changed in ways that make you immune to their particular brand of manipulation. They are going to try other people, and they might succeed for a while, but they will never find another you. They will never find someone who gave them as much power as you did before you awakened to their games. The World represents your entry into a completely new cycle of life, where you are the author of your own story, where you make decisions based on your own inner guidance, where you create relationships based on mutual respect and authentic connection. As we wrap up this reading, I want you to understand that their defeat is not about them being punished. It is about natural consequences. When you build your life on lies and manipulation, eventually, reality catches up with you. You did not defeat them by fighting them, Taurus. You defeated them by becoming too authentic, too grounded, too wise to be manipulated anymore. You defeated them by choosing truth over convenience and growth over comfort. The comments are absolutely exploding right now because so many of you are recognizing this exact energy. You have been through this psychological warfare and you have emerged victorious, not because you destroyed your opponent, but because you became too strong to be controlled. What I want you to remember is that their defeat is confirmation of your power. For months or maybe years, they convinced you that you were weak, that you were the problem, that you could not trust your own mind. But look at you now. Look how much you have grown. Look how wise you have become. This person wanted to keep you small and confused and dependent on their version of reality. Instead, they accidentally triggered your spiritual awakening, your psychological growth, your emotional evolution. They tried to break you, but they made you unbreakable. Pay attention to how different you feel now compared to when you were under their influence. Pay attention to how much clearer your thinking is. Pay attention to how much more confident you are in your own perceptions and decisions. You have reclaimed your mind, Taurus. You have reclaimed your power. You have reclaimed your right to live in truth instead of in someone else's manufactured reality. Their defeat is really your victory. Subscribe now if you want to stay connected to this empowering energy and continue building your authentic life free from manipulation and control. Your future self will thank you for choosing truth over lies and growth over stagnation. The comments are going absolutely crazy, with people sharing their own stories of breaking free from psychological manipulation. This is what happens when we choose to support each other instead of tear each other down. If you want deeper insights into protecting yourself from future manipulation and continuing to build your authentic power, you know where to find me. Until next time, Taurus, remember that you are stronger than anyone who tries to control you, and your truth is more powerful than their lies.